basement, me, my pen and my pad. Started thinking about things I never had. Was broke as a joke, ain't never laughed.
I can't believe I can't believe we have to continue doing this. I can't believe we have to continue doing this. Yes, once again, we were talking about the guy that keeps ESPN's lights on, their water running. We're talking about Jalen Hurts today. I didn't bring this up. They brought it up. There's just some nasty stuff going on. What's good, Jones? Your boy, Philly Talking PA. Always keep it stacked. Always keep it a buck. So this article today, of course, had to just drop because the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots were in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen couldn't get there again. Lamar Jackson couldn't get there again. But here we are yet again talking about Jalen Hurts. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles because why not? Why not ESPN? Because there's nothing better to talk about right now in the NFL space but Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's both a positive and a negative. But I want to start with this. I want to start with this quote. I want to start with this. And this is from, first off, I'm going to do my best. I'm trying to put the video in here. See if we don't get copyright. This is nasty. So, the play that sealed the game, the season for the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles. 4 verts. Kevin Patullo clearly calling the play. Clearly putting his head to his face. He's talking to the guys. He's clearly calling 4 verts. Yet, this is a quote, as one team source recalled, Hurts was the one who recommended 4 verts. A separate source with knowledge of the situation says that though the Eagles quarterback did not suggest it, he was simply responding to a question about his preferences. Either way, not everyone in the offense was thrilled. I was like, oh my, this is not happening. Source said, we can't run 4 verts. While Kevin Patullo is clearly calling the play, Nick Sirianni's in the back, not doing anything, and you can clearly see Jalen Hurts' expression when Kevin Patullo calls 4 verts, not Jalen Hurts. You can clearly see who called the play. So I don't know if the team source is smoking crack, or I don't know what the heck he's doing. So that is clearly not what happened. We've seen the video. When at one time Jalen Hurts opened his mouth for 4 verticals. Show me. Because we have seen all the angles of the timeout before, after a horrible clock management by Sirianni. We saw the entire footage of the timeout. Where did it say Jalen Hurts wanted 4 verticals? Who said that? Why is that just coming out now? And you know, this is just, once again, if Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, you know, and players like them, you know, didn't exist, if Patrick Mahomes didn't exist, places like ESPN might genuinely cease to exist because they can't seem to cover anything else. The AJ Brown, they got to keep it going. They're going to continue to try, even after Howie Roseman said that is not happening. Jeffrey Lurie said that is not happening. Jeffrey Lurie literally yesterday said, we love Jalen Hurts. He's the future. I love that guy. He is the clutch Super Bowl champion MVP. And then the next day, ESPN says, wait, hold my beer. I got one for you. It's embarrassing as a network, as people that are supposed to be, you know, the best at journalism. This is really embarrassing. This is a disgrace. To say Jalen Hurts called the play where everyone and their mom knew who called the play. Everyone knew who called the play. Kevin Patullo called the play. Nick Sirianni, no input. Jalen Hurts, you saw his facial expression. That man had no words. You saw it. That's all you replayed on the video the following Monday. Y'all saw the video. Stephen A. Smith, all these people on Get Up, y'all saw the video. And still, here we are. Jalen Hurts is the issue. You know, there's a lot of friction. And, you know, they could... Y'all are the ones that are continuing to push A.J. Brown saga. Y'all are the ones that are continuing to try to, you know, break up Devontae and Jalen's relationship. Y'all are the ones that are trying to say Dallas Goedert deserves better. Y'all are the ones that are trying to say, you know, it's either Saquon gets carried, you know, by, you know, his great offensive line wide receivers, or Hurts gets carried. by Saquon. It's one or the other because you guys can't, you guys gotta, hop on and off of each other. Y'all know what I mean. I'm not gonna say it, but y'all gotta hop on and off each other. Doing all this, flipping back and forth. Like, I mean, it's really just embarrassing. And we're gonna go to once again. I'm going to love coming back to this when the season starts because we have Jalen Hurts' reaction to when Kevin Patullo was hired, and Jalen Hurts' reaction to when Sean Mannion was hired. When Kevin Patullo was hired, Jalen Hurts' first words were, "Yeah, I mean he would have a different role, a lot of places, but this is what we got." Completely unexcited, disinterested. That was Jalen Hurts' sauce on Kevin Patullo. Jalen Hurts knew 5 months before the season started the way the season was going to go. Sean Mannion gets hired. Jalen Hurts simply says, he's amazing. Saquon Barkley, refreshing new system. Yeah, Jalen Hurts must have been the one that called for Hurts. Respect, y'all need to find something to do. McManus, Rossini, y'all, hey, what was it? Elliot Parks or something got Eagles Insider of the Year? That really needs to go to Derek Gunn. Because Derek Gunn is the one guy who's going to give it to you straight. He's not going to be like ESP, in those WIP, nut jobs. I mean, this is just embarrassing. This is not. I was talking to someone about real journalism, how journalism has kind of fallen because we have all these Twitter heads and trolls, and everybody thinks they know more. It's really funny. It's really interesting how one guy who's the Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, actually took his team somewhere. They say he can't throw the ball, yet both of his top 2 receivers are over 1,000 yards. When was the last time, some of your other favorite receivers or quarterbacks got their receivers over 1,000 yards? Let alone 2. So you keep on trying to talk about this guy and try to bring him down to there's friction in the offense and there's this and there's that. And Hurts might have to hop on a moving train. So someone on ESPN said that. Like Hurts might have to, get ready because he might be right the day after Jeffrey Lurie said, like, we love this guy. He is the clutch gene. But y'all got it. Y'all, people, journalists, ESPN, and all these other people, you guys got it. Hurts apparently has pushed back on changes that would diversify the scheme. I remember, what was it, week 9 or whatever, or week 12, when Nick Sirianni finally was like, changes will be coming to the offense. And Nick Sirianni, we saw the change. There wasn't like Hurts pushed back. We saw the changes, and they didn't really do much. What was there, one less hitch route against the Cowboys? One less, 4 vertical against the Chargers? Like, what new was there, Nick? Patullo, what new? Well, we know with Patullo, there was nothing new going on there. But we did see changes. And the changes simply weren't good enough. They weren't doing anything. They weren't moving the needle. And, we're just talking about this. This is just, I'm in Jerusalem. I hate the anonymous team source. Dog, like, respect, like, bro, I'm on the notion, bro, say it with your chest. Especially if you have something like this negative to say against them where everyone knew who the main person at fault was. Say it with your chest. Just say, like, I'm talking to anonymous team source, Philadelphia Eagles. Say it with your chest. Are you buddies with Kevin Patullo? Are you scared? Just say it with your chest, bro. Because you're saying things that, clearly the owner is debunking. The general manager, to an extent, is debunking. I mean, Nick Sirianni, we don't even know what he's really going to say. We haven't really heard what Nick Sirianni said since this dropped. But y'all don't, when the players always call y'all out, when the people you work with are calling out the BS, that you're anonymous team source, when Lane Johnson says that's bogus, when Brandon Graham says that's bogus, who do you expect people to believe? When the players themselves are like, that's bogus, that's not what's going on. You wouldn't expect to believe you, who can't even put your name on it? or the players that are like, yeah, bro, that's not happening. And for people like, oh, well, the players are always going to stick behind him. They stick behind Aaron Rodgers and with the Jets. How about Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh? What about Geno Smith? Just because you're a player, you're a teammate, doesn't mean you always got to stick with him. What about when Dre Greenlaw quit in the team 2 years ago? Like I know it's hard for some of these people, but just use your brain. Just think. It's not that hard. You're not gonna suffer that much. Take some critical thinking skills. But this once again, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are keeping ESPN, all these outlets, their lights on, their water running. They are. That's exactly what they're doing. And once again, I don't like to say things. This is something I've learned. I don't say things that I wouldn't say to a player's or a person's face. What people are doing, I will say it to any journalist or person that's covering, the Eagles, and they're putting this kind of stuff out. You are what's wrong with journalism. I will say it to their face. I am not lying. I will say it to their face. You are what's wrong with journalism. You are putting this stuff out. You drag stuff out even though it's clearly not going to happen. It has been 5 months and y'all are still dragging AJ Brown. Actually, no, screw 5 months. It's been almost a year. Y'all are it really heated up during the season, but y'all have been dragging AJ Brown for almost a year. And it still hasn't happened. You don't try to grasp any new story from the team. You are hanging on to this. You're hanging on by a slim thread. And you're still wrong week after week, month after month. I don't say anything that I wouldn't say to someone's face. I will say it directly to who's face. Y'all Eagles fans who are in the media, y'all can figure it out. I get sick. I get sick and tired every day. Oh, it's Jalen Hurts. He's an issue. Once again, let's go through this. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. The Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. A lot of teams made great offseason additions. New head coaches, new players. Let's go to players. Josh Allen still hasn't done anything. Lamar Jackson, I'm a big Lamar fan. He hasn't gone there. He hasn't done anything. Joe Burrow, is anybody going to talk about him? No, Paul, they don't have the super teams. They have had more than enough to get where people think they should be. And they still haven't done it, and no one's talking about that. Because everyone's obsessed with the guy that no one expected, and he did it anyway. He beat the guy that those three guys, actually Joe Burrow got him, but the other two guys can't get past my homeboy. Hurts outplayed him twice, beat him the second time. Josh Allen can't say that. Lamar Jackson can't say that. And for people who say, like, you live off Josh Allen's name, I don't do that. They did this. Why aren't they talking about it? Who's going to mention that? If Josh Allen can't win when Mahomes is out, how are we going to expect him to win ever again, or even try to get there again when Mahomes is in, when he's healthy? Like, I don't do this. When people start going to, Hurts calls the game losing 4 verticals. When people start saying that, when people start saying crazy stuff, even after looking at the footage, they look at the film, they look at the tape, and they see that this season was on the Kevin Patula, it was on the schemes. Nick Sirianni's offense wasn't good enough. And people still want to try to point fingers at people that they don't need to be pointing fingers at. Why do you think Jeff Stoutland left? What was it good? Jalen Hurts wouldn't diversify the scheme. No, he said it was a coaching. It wasn't happening. They were trying to phase him out. Did Jalen Hurts phase out Jeff Stoutland? No, the coaching. Like it's real, and I don't think they didn't even mention. I don't think they even mentioned Jeff Stoutland's name in this. I wouldn't even be surprised. They didn't even mention his name. Just how, Eagles, downfall. Meanwhile, some people's favorite quarterback didn't even make the playoffs. But no, let's talk about, let's go to a full deep dive. A full deep dive on how Eagles are the ticking time bomb. And Kimberly Martin's going to get on her soapbox and try to go off and run with this on, ESPN. And everybody else is going to, try to hop on with it. These people like, I'm not gonna accuse people of like not doing their job. Like, they don't watch the games. They're not watching closely enough. They're not what they're talking about in particular. They're not watching. They're not watching. Why is Eagles passing offense struggling? They're just casually looking at it. They're not saying, they're not looking at it. They're not looking at the film and saying, oh, here, this is why. This is why we love Shannon Sharp, because he's like, okay, this is why. Like, the offense is not diverse. Like, they're throwing just hitch routes, screens, 4 verticals. There's maybe one post route a game, deep post. There's maybe a couple crossers, couple complex route trees. But there's no Rams offense. There's no Niners offense. There's no Seahawks. There's no Miami Dolphins offense. There's none of that. There's none of that. And that's clear. We've seen it. Shane Steichen, Kellen Moore, those offenses thrived. Nick Sirianni's offense, not so much. And that's a fact. That's not being mean to Nick Sirianni. That was just a fact. Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore ran better offenses. And that's not. And, when people, it's just really funny because now people are trying to be like, we're on AJ's side. He deserves more. Y'all were the same people bashing this man for saying that the offense wasn't good enough because he knew. Jalen Hurts knew it in May when Kevin Patul was officially hired. AJ Brown knew it as well. And he was like, we can't keep slapping the Band-Aid over the offensive issues. And people laugh, people ha-ha, he-heed, oh no, AJ's just mad he's not getting the ball. They can still run it. And then when the offense failed, now they're like, free AJ Brown. He was right all along. No, y'all stay on that side. And that's why we always stood with AJ Brown, because we knew. We always stood with Jalen Hurts because we knew. Devontae Smith, when Saquon wasn't getting the holes, we knew what was going on. But y'all wanted to say it was all good. And then as the season went on, y'all instantly flipped to the Eagles are taking time bomb. We knew this was going to happen. Eagles last season was a fluke. Jalen Hurts, he's not that guy. Y'all did that. Y'all flipped it so fast mid-season. When AJ Brown knew it, Jalen Hurts predicted it. When he literally said Kevin Patullo was not qualified for his job. And y'all glossed over. Y'all didn't cover that at all. I didn't hear a single ESPN segment or Fox or whoever covering what Jalen Hurts said about Kevin Patullo. I don't think I've heard Jalen Hurts say it. They cover what he said about Sean Mannion. But that goes against the agenda. We've been going against a lot of agendas last couple of days. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But hey, like this is just another example of when you're great, people are always gonna try to find ways to pick and nit, try to tear you down. But we know Jalen Hurts doesn't listen to the noise. He doesn't hear it. AJ Brown, whatever happens with AJ Brown, if he does end up getting traded, congrats. It took you guys a year. You guys said it was going to happen before the season. Guys said it was going to happen at the trade deadline. Guys said it was going to happen after the season. You guys said it was going to happen during free agency. So you guys, if it finally happens, Diane and Rossini, congrats. You got what you wanted. Everybody else, y'all got what you wanted. It took you guys almost a year to get it right. But okay. But hey, whatever happens to AJ Brown is going to happen to AJ Brown. We got Devontae, Hollywood Brown, Darius Cooper. We'll be all right. Running back, expect Saquon to be good. Cam Jurgens, that's a tough injury he went through all last season. Whole off season along with Landon Dickerson. Let's get healthy. Let's revamp. A lot of the other guys that struggled last season, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson was out. Hey, y'all gotta get right. Makuba, Jahad Campbell missing, I think, most of, until like late June. They'll be ready. Once again, media's not talking. I made a post today. Media's not talking about those guys. Might come to regret it. I better not see people talking about Andrew Makuba in week 14 or Jahad Campbell in week 12 after we told you all what was going to happen. But hey, what are we? We're like 4 weeks, probably exactly at this point. Away from the draft and all that good stuff. So we'll see, who gets added offensive line or corner. Nobody's talking about, like, if you want to talk about the Eagles, I mean, you could talk about Andrew Makuba, Jahad Campbell. Is the youth going to be able to show up? You could talk about Tariq Woolen, career resurgence. You could talk about how, the wide receiver room is going to be really interesting, really competitive now. Hollywood Brown, Darius Cooper, competing for wide receiver 3. AJ Devontae, can they go for 1,000 yards again? You could talk about how, the defensive line, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Jordan Davis getting paid, Jalen Carter, revamped, fully healthy. You could talk about how the D-line may not need an edge rusher. Y'all can debate that. But no, you guys are going to talk about the guy that, time and time again just proves you guys wrong. Like, that's what y'all are going to do. And it's okay. Because once again, when the haters grow louder, that's when Jalen Hurts plays better. That's when the Eagles, as an organization, play better. When the noise gets louder. And we know, once again, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, if you listen to the fans, you'll end up in the stands with them. So Howie Roseman, especially, doing a really great job with the roster. Once again, Tariq Woolen, a lot of other guys getting signed, moves are being made. I think I saw something there like Howie Roseman made the Carolina Panthers pay almost $6 million for a 7th-round pick. Like, Howie Roseman's just doing things. Once again, is ESPN going to talk about that? No. I wouldn't expect anyone who was on ESPN today to know that statistic, because they're just going to talk about, is Jalen Hurts ruining the offense? Is the Super Bowl MVP the guy that's holding them back? Well, y'all regular season MVP can't even get to the Super Bowl, but it's not here or there. Oh, I didn't forget about Dak Prescott either. Don't worry, Cowboys fans in the back. I didn't forget about your guy. I did not forget about your guy. But hey, man, this is just, one of those things where I'm just like, really? This is what we're doing? Y'all couldn't talk about anything else. Not just on the Eagles, just the rest of the NFL in general. New moves, new offenses, coaches fits. Like, literally in the division, y'all couldn't talk anything about the Giants? Y'all are based in New York. You couldn't talk about anything the Giants are doing? Y'all aren't even talking about the Cowboys this much. Like, that's when it's really getting to you. But you guys aren't even talking about the Cowboys. I mean, y'all still talk about the Lakers way too much. But y'all are just talking about, you don't even talk about the Cowboys this much. Is it fair to say Dak Prescott is holding the team back? Because every time the playoffs roll around, that brother turns to straight doo-doo. And I've called Dak a fraud to his face. So, once again, we don't say anything that I wouldn't say to a player's face. Dak in the playoffs has been trash. When it really mattered, when you need him, 49ers twice. Green, pretty much a rookie, Jordan Love, and a young, 20-year-old Packers team, average age. The Rams. Green Bay again, back in the day. Who, is it fair? I mean, if Jalen Hurts is holding the Eagles back, this is our last one we're going to make. If Jalen Hurts is holding the Eagles back, and Jalen Hurts has been Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion, All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Pro Bowl doesn't matter much anymore. If he's holding the Eagles back, what does that make Dak Prescott? What does that make Josh Allen's 4 turnovers against Bo Nix? What does that make Lamar Jackson? Joe Burrow? I'm just asking for a friend, because if we're gonna use he's holding the team back, he doesn't, in big moments, even though in big moments Jalen Hurts, aside from Patrick Mahomes, is the most clutch quarterback statistically in the NFL. If he's holding the team back, what does that make your favorite quarterback? Just asking a question. You guys feel free to answer. You guys always do. If it's down in the comment section, it's a direct DM, because you don't want to see me cooking you in front of everybody else. That's what a lot of y'all do. Y'all hop in the DM. You guys don't do the comment section because y'all know you're going to get cooked. But hey, that's just my thoughts on this. Another situation where, hey, I understand it. Somebody's got to pay the bills. If it can't be an actual employee, might as well just go after someone, cook up some stuff, Even though we all know who called 4 verticals with the game on the line. We all know. Eagles fans, everybody knows who called that play. Did you listen to Nick Sirianni's post-game conference after the 49ers game? Did you do some research? We know who called it. Jalen Hurts literally had a facial expression. That man did not say a word. That man knew the season was over. He was speechless. But no, Jalen Hurts called the play. Like, man, y'all give me a break. Man, y'all some fools. But hey, can't believe this is, the work I want to do because this is nasty. Hey, man. It's your boy, Phil Talk PA. Always keep it a stack. Always keep it a buck. I'm out, y'all.